a podcast covering your favorite and unknown movies, games, comic books, anime, and more weekly. We appreciate you being here and hope you enjoy the show. Let's go ahead and get started.
Hell boy. All right, let's start on the season 4 of You Whitest Kids You Know. They'd be like, what? The hell does Hellboy have to do with that? It has to do everything with that. Right, so we're going to start. We are now on season 4. The first 5 episodes. My favorite skits from every single episode. This was a tough one because episode 1 had a lot of, it had 3 bangers. And I was
right off the bat.
Yeah, I was like, okay, this is the one. And then the next one's like, oh, this is the one. And then the third one, like, oh, fuck, there's 3 of them. I was almost going to include all 3, but I was like, nah. Yeah, maybe for a future, compilation of, my favorite all time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, okay, so episode 1 of season 4, Sam actually got 2, episode 1 and 2 back to back.
Oh, really?
Because sometimes when he gets him, he gets him. I don't know why. But Sam, remember season 3 he had a banger after banger? 3 straight episodes?
Yeah.
I got another 2 straight. I think we should go back and see who's the leader of my favorite ones, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so he enters this just a regular it's called homeware is what they call the little business there, and they just sell home stuff vacuums and microwaves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And off the bat, he grabs one of the fucking what's those things on the vacuums? The little suction things. It's not part of the actual bottom, but you can suck up stuff from the corners.
Oh, just the attachment end.
Yeah, the attachment suction thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he grabs it, right, and then he puts his hand around his he imitates his penis, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, is it? And then he puts it over the thing, see if it's small enough to fit into the suction thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, you can clearly tell he's trying to see which one would fit in his dick, so he can turn it on it. And or turn it on as he puts his dick in it.
Right.
And Zach comes in because he's the employee there, and he's like, it'll rip your dick off. He's like, what? And Sam's like, what are you talking about? What? He's like, if you put your dick in that, it'll rip your dick off. I don't know. I got a really messy apartment. He tries everything he can say to make it seem like that's not what he's buying it for.
Right.
So he's like, sir, it'll rip your dick off. So and he tried to nonchalantly go into so does it have multiple power settings? And so yes, there's high and low, and both of them will rip your dick off. It's like, oh, that's a weird way to describe the power settings. I'm just looking for a vacuum to clean my apartment. You got any other models here? And yeah, this one over here, this one will suck your dick real good. And he's like, oh, what? And he grabs the display, right? The display vacuum, sets it down, and he's still talking about how he just wants to clean his apartment and how this employee is acting weird about this whole dick sucking thing. And he picks up the box and walks off. Goes up to the counter. There's a woman there, right, with another employee, and she's like, "Oh hell no!" They got one of these dick sucking vacuum buyers. And he's like, what? I just have an apartment I want to clean. And she hits the price tag on it, right? And it's he's like, $1,400? And she's like, watch this nasty motherfucker still buy it. And as he's pulling his fucking credit card out of his wallet, that's a ridiculous price. Here you go. So he's all that to buy a fucking dick sucking vacuum cleaner. And the fact that there's one specifically for that is what's funny.
Because they just know.
Yeah, this is the one right that you want. Because every guy has thought about it, at least one time, they thought about it. Not a lot of them do it.
Right.
Because I heard a terrible story about one of them doing it, and it did suck his dick off. It ripped it off. I'm like, ouch.
Because you've at least heard about it, even in school and stuff.
Yeah.
You've heard of that one jackass that did do it. And it's like, oh.
The man. The power settings are high and low, and they'll both rip your dick off. All right, so in episode 2, it's the cold open scene too. It's insane how quick it was. So Sam's coming out of the bathroom, and Trevor's walking up like, "Oh, hey Sam," and they go for they got business suits. It's like a business type workplace.
Yeah. And
they do a fucking a slap hand grab, when they go to shake hands, it's almost like a high five.
Yeah.
But in a handshake motion, they're like boom, and they start shaking, and then all this water comes off of their hands. And Trevor's like, because Sam just got out of the bathroom, and Trevor's like, I hope that's a clean wet. And Sam he goes into his head, right, and then it cuts to him in the bathroom, and he's at the urinal peeing, right, but he's peeing on his own hand. And he's filling up his hand and then dumping it into the urinal like he's playing with it. So it cuts back to Sam, and he's like, "Yep, it's a clean wet." And because Trevor was like, you can see Trevor's face, like he was a little like, "Uh oh," and then Trevor's like, "Oh," he's like, because he was like suspicious. And then when he said it's a clean wet, he's like, "Oh, he's sated."
Yeah.
And then thank goodness. So like Sam pats him on the back, and he wipes his left hand on his right chest, right, right, I guess chest breast. I don't know.
Peck.
Yeah, and like a bunch of fucking brown stuff wipes on it, and he's like, "I hope that's chocolate." It's chocolate. So you can tell he pretty much just wiped shit on his fucking his shoulder.
So he's playing with his piss and his shit?
Basically, yeah.
Oh. Oh.
Sometimes it makes me wonder what when they did those skits because of their hairstyles. Because like throughout that season, he had a shorter hairstyle, but in this one, he had a longer one. So like, was this something they did a long time ago? They just didn't have room for it. They just added it from the archive.
It's possible.
Like one of those, like every time you see a different hairstyle, like you see a consistent hairstyle throughout the season, but then you'll see like a different one, like one skit, and then it'll be gone. So it makes me wonder how old some of these skits are.
Yeah, it could be older.
Context of like, or did they do it over? They so excited they did a quick one over like summer break or something, or like season. I don't know.
That's possible too. Like where they do the majority of them at one point, like within a recording session,
their production cycle,
and then they do that one that's we got to add this one to it,
right? Like we got to add it somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. So episode 3, so they're having it's World War II, right? And they're having a massive shootout. It's Sam, Trevor, and Timmy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're struggling with like they're surrounded, they're losing, they're running out of ammo, and Zach comes out of nowhere. So here, I got your ammo, guys, and he gets shot, and he does this really dramatic, like, oh my God, I got shot, and he dies, right? Like a really like dramatic movie scene, like he's got his hands up, like in almost like the Jesus Christ position, like and he falls back and he dies, right? And Sam and Timmy are still shooting back, right? But Trevor's like got this look on his face, like, did you see the way Zach died? Like all dramatic and shit. And he's like, what? And they start making fun of the way Zach died. They're just like he's the main character or some shit, all this and that, right? And then fucking Trevor gets shot, and he's like, oh never forget. And he dies too, right? And then like Timmy looks at Sam, and he's like, that's weird, because he did just what Zach did, all dramatic and shit. So they started laughing at Trevor the way he died, and so they're like they're fucking joking around about him. And then Timmy gets shot in the fucking head. I'm talking about like there is a fucking apple-sized gap in his fucking cranium, and he's like, is it bad? And his fucking said like it's real fucking bad. So they talk for a few seconds, right? And then Timmy's just like, well, it's getting kind of dark now, so I'm just gonna lie down. And so he tries to lie down, right? And he puts his head back, and he pops back, like, don't make fun of me. Don't make fun of me. He's like, no, I'm not gonna make. That was the most brutal shit I've ever seen. Okay, just don't make fun of me, because he's the one getting laughed at for the way he died, right?
Yeah.
Because he died like really like nonchalantly. They died over dramatically,
right?
But he's so embarrassed. Like, please don't make fun of me when I die. He's got a fucking massive hole in his head, and he just fucking ends up dying. And then the war's over right after that. And like it's funny because they say they make it sound like it's a fucking game. Like, war's over. America, your bus is over here. Germany, your bus is over here. There's a free meal voucher for when you leave your gun at the in the barrel outside the truck. Like, okay. All right, so episode 4. This was involves the so basically it's Timmy in school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Trevor's a teacher, and he's showing the Apollo 11 moon landing, and how Neil Armstrong was the first man to land on the moon. So Timmy's like, so who shot the footage of Neil Armstrong landing on the moon?
Mm-hmm.
And then like it stops Trevor in his tracks. He can't think about who, because if Neil was first on the moon, who has the camera? Like who put it on the tripod? Like, did Neil come down first, set it up, and they come back up, and they come right back down? So he gets confused. So he goes to Zach, who's the principal, and he asks him, and you find out that Trevor's name in the skit is Mr. Teacherson, because they always do that. They have the weirdest fucking names for. They had one where they were doing like an alien autopsy, and Trevor's name was Dr. Something Pepper, like Dr. Peter Pepper. Darren was Dr. Colin Pibb, And then Sam was a general named General Mills.
General Mills.
Yeah, so all the basically, Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pibb, and General Mills. So the principal, Zach, can't figure out who shot the moon landing either. So they call Darren, who's an army general. They're like, hey, who shot the Apollo 11 moon landing? And Darren flips out and hits this big ass red button that puts the whole base on lockdown. And someone calls the president at the time during the run of the show, I guess was Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
So Barack Obama answers the phone. And like, Mr. President, someone's asking about the Apollo moon landing. And who's asking? What school? And he tells him the school district. And Obama sends a bomb and blows the school up. And one of his advisors comes in like, Mr. President, who did do the moon landing? Oh, there was some camera on one of the legs of the landing craft. It's like, oh, so why did you bomb that school? So that's why they call me Obama. So it's like, oh, and then bomb.
A bomber. Oh, bomber.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
That was random as hell.
That was his nickname?
Apparently, yeah.
Because he used to bomb all these places.
All right, last one. This is the first one in a while. Like, I enjoy all of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to say they all they all make me bust out laughing.
Right.
It's one of those things where I just enjoy watching.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to laugh, but you just still consider it extremely funny.
Right.
But this one actually had me bust out laughing. So it's a Jumbotron at a sports game. I don't know what, they didn't show what it was, but it was like some random, whatever sports game. Mostly basketball and hockey, right? Have Jumbotrons? Maybe baseball?
Jumbotron is in the middle of the field or what?
Like just like the big like cameras for like the show, like the fans.
Every sport does.
Oh, they all do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's a Jumbotron, and it's going, at first it could pick some random people, right? Then it picks Zach and Sam, right? As also random rowdy fans. But fucking Zach grabs Sam's head and starts imitating fellatio. And Sam's like, ah! So they cut away from him as quick as they can. And it goes to Timmy. And it stays on Timmy for a long time. Like, it does not go away. So he starts getting, like, at first he's happy. Then he's like, he tries to, compensate, or what's the word I'm looking for? He tries to appease him, right? Like, oh, let me do something goofy. Then the camera go away, but it never goes away. It eventually only cuts off after Zach and Sam pop in out of nowhere and start messing with Timmy, right? And get back on the Jumbotron. It cuts away, right? And then it goes later. It stays on a continuous shot, but it makes you realize that it's a little bit later. The fucking Jumbotron cameraman follows Timmy into the bathroom and just busts the fucking door open as he's taking a piss sitting down. So he's like, what the fuck are you? I'm fucking pissed. And like, it's all real quiet because you see the fans cheering.
Yeah.
The fucking camera just fucking backs Timmy into the corner of the fucking journal, or this little bathroom, right? He's like, what the fuck? You need to get the fuck away from me. It's all like muffled, right? And the fucking camera goes all the way down his fucking throat and comes out his pee hole. It comes out and he's like, wow. And he's just laying there in the corner, fucking a handful of blood, right? Holding his dick.
Yeah.
Like it just ripped out of his pee hole. So he's like, oh my God, what are you doing? I'm fucking, because it's how invasive it is. So Timmy's like back in the corner and he's like, get the fuck away from me. What the fuck are you doing? He's trying to get this fucking guy to get like, what the fuck are you doing? That's something about the helplessness of Timmy. I don't know why that made me laugh. But he's like a fucking serial killer. But just how vulnerable he was. Like he's in his pants around his ankles. The camera just, imagine someone busted into the bathroom at a fucking sports game and you're like, what the fuck are you doing? So
Is that you?
So the cameraman turns around, right? And it sees Trevor at the urinal, right? And Trevor turns around like, whoa, what the hell? Then he sees Timmy down like, oh my God, what? And it zooms in on Trevor and it goes down Trevor's fucking throat and comes out his pee hole. So he's just like, oh. But there's blood everywhere. His fucking holes, his dick's blown open. And then for some reason, there's a woman in the urinal too, in the men's bathroom, and it goes down her mouth, but it comes out and it's just fine. Because apparently the whole moral of the skit was like, it's easier to get a camera through a vagina than it is a pee hole.
Right.
That was the moral. That's what Timmy at the end's like that. Like that's the moral of the story. And then it was like, Timmy, the more you know. I'm like, what the fuck was that? But something about
That is fucked up.
They always have Timmy as like the one character. Like I don't know if it was like, I guess it was intentional, and like as a joke or an inside joke, because the four original cast was Trevor, Sam, Zach, and Darren. They all met in school. So they all ended up making the Whitest Kids You Know comedy troupe. And then Timmy joined in later. but he joined in before the show started, so it wasn't like he showed up like a season or two after. But so he's always been like the outsider within the group, and they always used to do that. Like they make him like the bullied one, like as a joke in the skits, right?
Yeah.
But like I'm like, God dang, he's always like the bullied one for some reason. You can always tell too. It's always
It's like, Timmy?
just always making fun of Timmy. Like Timmy's always the odd man out. But then like I'm sure they only do it because he's fine with it as a bit. It's not real.
Right.
But man, imagine always being the one getting fucking shit on by the other four of your group.
That is funny though. Always getting picked on.
Basically, yes. It's always Timmy getting picked on because he's the odd.
Well, at least they've also kept it throughout every season, or he's always the one.
Yeah, he's the one. He's always Timmy. There's one time where like this skit he was having like he was making he's called it Timmy Talk, his own little talk show. It was a pilot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the other four guys found the tape and were fucking laughing their asses off at him. He's like, guys, this is just a pilot. This isn't funny. And like they're all messing with him and they're all like pushing him around and on the couch, right? And like, this is fucked up, guys. I'm leaving. And he leaves with his tape, right? And he goes downstairs. He comes outside and like they call up to him, hey Timmy, because they're up on like the third or fourth floor. And he turns around and they smash him with a bunch of water balloons. Like, you suck, Timmy. Fuck you, Timmy. Timmy turns around and he rounds the corner and then he gets mugged, right? He's like, what do you got? Like, give me all your money. And Timmy's like, my dad has it all. And now, never mind, he's a grown ass man.
Right.
So his dad having all his money. So what's on that tape? Like, no, you don't want this. This tape means nothing to you. And the guy takes the tape, right?
Of all things, yeah.
Like, no, my pilot. And then he remakes the Timmy Talk and he sells it to a studio and they buy it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then the other cast members are watching the video of Timmy Talk with the mugger that robbed Timmy, and they're like, this is amazing shit. And Timmy's like, fuck it, bullshit. Because the very same thing that he was doing, this other guy's doing, and they enjoy it, but they didn't enjoy it when Timmy did it. It's kind of like how they do it it's how it like the dynamic is in terms of the bit of that show of Timmy being the odd man out.
It's like, yeah, you didn't do it good enough. Because it's not you, it's good.
And how bad this fucking Timmy Talk was? He would do a thing where it was him as the host and then him as the guest.
Oh.
And he would like superimpose. So he would ask a question and then he would have the other one answer, right? But he messed it up. So the other guy says something first and then he asks the question. Like, so it'd be like, so Timmy was like, and welcome my new guest, Timmy. So Timmy would come out, thank you, Timmy. And they would had to do the handshake. So then Timmy would sit down, the guest Timmy would sit down and be like, Thomas. And I'm like, what? And then like the host would be like, so what's your cat's name? And I'm like, oh, wow.
Or it's really bad, like really bad.
And what's weird is the guy that stole his pilot and redid it and got it sold into an actual show, it was doing the same thing. And also it was off center too. So what's your cat's name? Or it'd be like, yeah, Thomas. I go, oh, so what's your cat's name? So he didn't
really even change it to the bad stuff.
No, he did the exact same thing, just with a better set and like an actual suit. He even kept it in the Timmy Talk. He kept the name.
Leave even the same name.
Basically, yeah.
Oh, that's fucked up.
But so that's it for this 5 episodes of season 4. We'll go into episodes 6 through 10 on the next episode. Episode 6 has one of my funniest videos, or one of my favorite videos of the entire series. And I don't want to get into it, but you guys will you'll understand why. Sometimes I love complexity when it's like done right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hate convolution in storytelling if there's no point to it.
Right.
It's why I don't really like
where you get a whole bunch of backstory for no reason.
That's why I don't really like Inception. Like, it's just so convoluted for no reason.
Yeah.
And like, this was one of the things where like it was like I don't even know if I want to say convoluted, but it was awesome the way they did it. Like, I wish like the way, so whoever wrote it, this skit was like a genius. And like, it was also complex because you had to do it 2 things at the same time, 2 different scenes at the same time, interlocked with each other. It's crazy. I'll tell you about it on the next one.
And again, as a PSA, as always, this is not the full episode of the show.
They still complaining about it?
No, just I like to throw that out there, just as a heads up, so that way if anybody watches this till the end, which we hope you do, but
You can watch a new show, Timmy Talk.
Timmy Talk. We need to do something like that. It'd be funny. Timmy Talk.
Timmy Talk.
Where I just answer the question before you even ask the question.
French fries. So what food do you hate?
Just start cutting stuff to where it makes no sense.
He cut it so weird.